If you run language models locally, you have probably wrestled with the same choice. You want a model that feels smart, but you also do not want to sit there waiting for tokens. At the 4 billion parameter tier, every architectural decision matters, and the wrong pick means something that is either too slow to bear or too weak to trust. Today we put that to the test with two of the most interesting small models on the market, Alibaba Qwen 3.5 4 billion, a hybrid model that replaces most of its attention layers with linear DeltaNet, goes head-to-head against Google Gemma 4e 4 billion, a dense transformer that uses per-layer embeddings to squeeze more capacity out of the same compute, both running through llama.cpp at IQ4NL quantization with a 98,000 token context window, every layer on a single GPU. The test machine is the one we use across the channel, a Ryzen 7 7800X3D with 64 gigs of DDR5 and a GeForce RTX 4070 Ti Super. Flash attention on, Q80kV cache, 10 prompts per model from a quick 30 token question to a 25,000 token document, every setting matched. Before we get to raw throughput, let us talk about what these models can actually do. Qwen 3.54 billion reports across 64 benchmarks, 79% on MMLU Pro, 76% on GPQA Diamond, 56% on LiveCode Bench version 6, and an 89 on IFEvil instruction following. Its vision scores are strong too, 78% on MMMU and 75% on Math Vision. These numbers would have been remarkable for a 70 billion parameter model 2 years ago. Gemma 4e 4 billion trails on every shared metric. MMLU Pro at 69%, GPQA Diamond at 59%, LiveCode Bench at 52%. The gaps are double-digit on the hardest reasoning tasks, but Gemma has one capability Qwen simply does not. Native audio input. It handles speech recognition and translation out of the box, with word error rates near zero on benchmarks. If your use case needs voice, Gemma is the only option here. For pure text and vision, Qwen leads across the board. Now the hardware story, starting with generation speed. Across all 10 prompts, Qwen averages 127 tokens per second. Gemma averages 112. That is 13% faster, but the average hides something important. Most of Qwen's prompts run at about 135 to 138 tokens per second. Two specific prompts dip to around 105, dragging the average down. Those outliers likely reflect input patterns that trip up the hybrid attention. On nearly everything you will actually type, Qwen sits closer to 136. Gemma is consistent, but consistently slower, and it takes a much bigger hit as context grows. Prompt processing tells an even more interesting story. Gemma's average prefill speed is about 3,700 tokens per second versus Qwen's 3,500, a slim lead for Gemma. But that average is dominated by long documents where Gemma does well. On short prompts, the everyday chat messages, the picture flips hard. Qwen's worst case short prompt processing is 712 tokens per second. Gemma's worst case is 209, more than 3 times slower. A quick hello takes Qwen about 40 milliseconds to process. Gemma takes nearly 180. That is latency you can feel. Gemma catches up on long documents, beating Qwen by about 12% on prompt ingestion, but the short prompt penalty shapes your daily experience. Long context widens the gap further. At 25,000 tokens, Qwen's generation speed drops only 9.5% from its short prompt average, landing around 115 tokens per second. Gemma drops nearly 25%, falling to 84. At that context length, Qwen is 36% faster. The reason is architectural. Qwen's gated DeltaNet layers, 24 out of 33, have constant memory costs regardless of context. Only 8 layers pay the attention tax. In Gemma, all 43 dense layers access the growing KV cache on every token. VRAM is a non-issue here. Qwen uses 5940 megabytes. Gemma uses 5650. A 290 megabyte gap that does not matter in practice. Any GPU that runs one runs the other. Even a GTX 1060 with 6 gigabytes handles either model at full context. So what do you do with this? For a local chatbot, a coding assistant, or document Q&A, Qwen 3.5 4 billion is the clear pick. Faster generation, dramatically faster short prompt processing, better long context retention, and higher intelligence scores across the board. The hybrid DeltaNet design pays off where it counts: interactive use and sustained reasoning. Gemma 4 E4 billion has 2 scenarios where it makes sense. If your workflow is long documents in and short answers out, its long prompt prefill speed is real. And if you need audio native speech recognition, Gemma is not just better, it is the only option. Both models represent the frontier of small, locally runnable language models in mid-2026. Both are Apache 2.0 licensed. Both fit on a consumer GPU. You just have to decide whether intelligence and interactive speed matter more than audio and document ingestion. If you're running one of these yourself, try a 25,000 token prompt and watch the generation rate. That long context number tells you more about how a model will feel over a full session than any short benchmark ever will.